Grigory Yefimovich Rasputin. Imagine this. There's a man whose gaze could enchant anyone who looked into his eyes. They tried to poison him. He didn't die. They shot him. He came back. In the end, they threw him into icy waters to drown. But even then, he tried to crawl back out. This isn't a fairy tale. This is the true story of Rasputin. There are hundreds of legends about him. But today, I'll tell you 10 facts so eerie, they might just steal your sleep tonight. Fact 1, he could hypnotize with his eyes. They said his eyes had the power of hypnosis. Anyone who locked eyes with him felt something strange. Even noblemen at the palace whispered, Rasputin's stare could freeze your soul. Was he a master of hypnosis? Or was there something darker behind that gaze? Fact 2, he was uneducated, but took over the royal palace. He had no formal education, born in a remote village, walking through mud with torn boots. Yet this uneducated peasant got so close to the royal family, even high-ranking generals began calling him master. So the question is, where did his power come from? Fact 3, he healed the Tsar's son. The young prince, Alexei, suffered from a deadly bleeding disorder. Doctors were hopeless. They told the Tsar and his wife, there's no future for this child. All hope was gone, until Rasputin arrived. He wasn't a doctor, he wasn't a scientist, but he said, don't touch him, I will pray. Do nothing, just wait. He prayed, and the bleeding stopped. Was it a miracle, or some kind of psychological trick? One thing's for sure, after that, Rasputin became untouchable at the palace. Fact 4, he seduced women like a sorcerer. Was it just charm? Or something supernatural? Rasputin wasn't handsome. A long, scruffy beard, rotting teeth, a tired, hollow face. Yet, women fell for him. And not just any women. Aristocrats, noble ladies, even wives of priests. They said, when you look into his eyes, time seems to stop. Some claim that after meeting him, their illnesses vanished. They found inner peace. Their souls felt cleansed. Others accused him of something darker. He claimed that sin could cleanse the soul through pleasure. He performed strange rituals, calling on women to liberate their bodies and spirits. The church called him a demon in a monk's robe. And still, night after night, palace gates saw long lines of noblewomen, all waiting for Rasputin. Why? Fact 5, even the palace feared him. General, bishops, even the Tsar himself, they all feared Rasputin. Anyone who opposed him was either removed from power or simply vanished. Some documents suggest he ruled through blackmail and fear. He wasn't just a mystic, he was a political force. One member of the court wrote, he could destroy careers with a single word. He decided who would rise and who would disappear. Even Tsar Nicholas II sometimes couldn't say no to him. Rasputin would warn, if anything happens to me, the royal family will fall. There were several assassination attempts in the palace, but all of them failed. And every time someone failed to kill him, Rasputin only grew stronger. If one man could create an atmosphere of fear right at the heart of an empire, then he wasn't just a peasant, he was power itself. No one felt truly safe around him, not even the Tsar. Fact 6, he predicted his own death, Rasputin. His name wasn't just feared inside the palace, it echoed across all of Russia. But people didn't fear just what he said. They feared how he refused to die. In the final nights of 1916, he was invited to a secret meeting at the palace. Prince Yusupov and a group of aristocrats had made a decision. Rasputin had to be eliminated. They offered him poisoned wine and cakes laced with cyanide. He ate and drank everything. Nothing happened. The assassins stared at each other in disbelief. Then, they shot him. He collapsed, motionless. It seemed like it was over. But minutes later, Rasputin stood up, bleeding, barely alive. He clawed at the walls, trying to escape. Another shot, then another. They beat him, dragged him down. Finally, they wrapped his body and threw him into the icy waters of the Neva River. The next day, when his body was recovered, They found water in his lungs. That meant Rasputin had still been alive when he hit the water. He died, drowning. The palace rejoiced. The sorcerer was gone. It felt like the end of a dark era. But Rasputin's death was like pressing a silent trigger, the beginning of the empire's collapse. Some call it coincidence. Others say he saw the future. But one truth remains. With Rasputin's death, the Romanov dynasty came to an end. 1,000-year empire crumbled. Rasputin vanished into the shadows. But his name was never erased from history. Maybe he wasn't just a peasant. Maybe he was the most dangerous warning in history. Fact 7. No trace of poison or alcohol was ever found in his blood. The story of Rasputin's death is surrounded by mystery and disbelief. According to the plan, he was first served poisoned wine and cakes. The dose of cyanide he consumed should have killed an average man instantly. But Rasputin drank it calmly and continued chatting as if nothing had happened. His would-be assassins were frozen in shock. How could this man still be alive? In the end, they were forced to shoot him. But even that wasn't the end. A medical examination of Rasputin's body left everyone even more confused. There was no trace of poison in his blood, no alcohol either, which meant he never actually drank anything. He only pretended to. He played along and fooled them with a psychological game. Maybe to truly kill Rasputin, they didn't need to destroy his body. They needed to defeat his mind. Because Rasputin's greatest weapon wasn't magic or strength. It was the fear he controlled inside others. So the real question is, was he immune to poison? Or did he simply never drink it in the first place? The answer, we may never know. Fact 8, he didn't pray. He summoned. He would strike his own body during prayer. He cried, made strange, inhuman sounds. He said this pain connected him to God, that only through suffering the soul could be purified. Witnesses said, when he prayed, it was like he entered another world. He would tremble for hours as if in a trance, sometimes collapsing on the floor, unconscious. Some believed it was holiness. Others saw something terrifying in it. The church was horrified. They openly called him a servant of the devil. To them, Rasputin's prayers were nothing more than black magic in disguise, a deception cloaked in faith. Rumors spread. He didn't just pray, he summoned. People claimed he could curse someone by speaking their name, that a single touch from him could either heal or destroy. One priest wrote, I saw no light in him, only a shadow, wearing the shape of a man. And so people began to ask, was Rasputin truly a man of God? Or was he a being from another realm? Maybe he wasn't just a mystic. Maybe he was a gateway to something no one was ready to understand. Fact 9, the most mysterious letter, one day before his death. One day before his death, Rasputin wrote a letter. In it, he predicted not only the date of his death, but even who would be behind it. He wrote, if I am killed by common people, the Tsar and his family will survive. But if I am killed by nobles, the Tsar will not live more than a year. 6 months later, the Tsar's entire family was executed by the Bolsheviks. The Tsar himself, his wife, and their children, all shot to death. Russia will fall into chaos. The royal family will be destroyed. That's what Rasputin had written, and it all came true. He didn't just predict the exact time of his death, he named the kind of people who would kill him. When he wrote a noble hand, he was clearly referring to Prince Yusupov, the very man who would murder him the next day. That letter still exists. It's kept in the Russian archives to this day. How did he know? Fact 10. Does Rasputin still live? Some believe Rasputin never truly died. There are those who claim his spirit still roams the royal palace. Others say even his bones refuse to decay, that his body carries a divine or demonic kind of invincibility. But now the question is for you. Who do you think Rasputin really was? Just a master of psychological manipulation? Or someone with real mystical power? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy hidden, lesser-known stories from history, Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because here we bring you the secrets that history tried to bury in the shadows. See you in the next one.